Check,
There
check, check,
it
check,
is.
check.
Ha. Now we're live.
Cool. Hey guys.
Let's see. Let's get this sorted.
Cool.
All right. So now we're back.
Hey guys.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about spooky locations and spooky experiences that we've had over the past couple of years, since we both like really scary stuff
Exactly.
and spooky.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of share some of the experiences that we've had. But Andres wants to tell you guys something that he wants to add to tonight's stream to make it extra spooky for him.
And extra spicy. So, besides speaking about abandoned places today, what I want to do is I want to do a little challenge. I went to Publix roughly around a day ago, and I got myself some habanero peppers.
You gotta show that.
Woo! Get the money shot. And so what the rules with the spicy pepper challenge is, if anybody donates anything $10 or less, or $9 or less, I'm going to be taking a bite off a habanero pepper. However, if any one of you guys would like to donate $10 or more, I will take a whole habanero pepper straight to the dome. So there is that. And if by any miraculous chance in the stream of whoever wants to donate 50 or more, I will take 2 habanero peppers back to back. And just to give you guys a bit of a Richter scale, these are pretty spicy. They're kind of like around like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I love my spicy food, but this kick your butt.
Yep.
So, by the way, I want to give a big shout out to Fleeting Fennec, aka Lolo. It's good to see you here.
Hey.
And everybody else that's in this stream. So we appreciate you guys as always for coming in.
Especially because I see some of the people that keep coming to our streams, like the Wolf. Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, Fleeting Fennec. We've seen you a couple of times, and I know Giovanni had to go back to work, but hi Giovanni, bye Giovanni.
Hi Giovanni, bye Giovanni.
so you'll see this when you watch the replay.
Heather, careful, stomach ache. I'm like, yeah.
So he decided to eat one of them earlier today.
Just to test it out.
Just to test it. He said, I thought he was going to take a bite, but he literally just grabbed the whole thing and just tossed it in there.
Yeah, popped it in my mouth, and it was excruciating pain. I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad. So I'm actually got myself prepped up. I got myself some milk. And I also got myself some water, too, when the milk runs out. So wish me luck, stream.
Yeah, he said, I'm just going to be okay with water. And I'm like, you should just have milk on this side because we don't have any ice cream here. So that'll help the burning. But it comes down to you how much you want to make my brother suffer in this stream while we're talking.
Exactly.
So we'll kind of like pop in a little reminder later and see.
Hey, Julia, welcome to the stream. I love how Julia goes, milk
No
challenge.
We're not.
I'm like,
We're
challenge
not bathing Andres today.
Accepted.
I mean, okay, unless somebody really wants to see Andres bathe in milk, I'm going to have to put something here because I'm not ruining the floor.
I'm like, all right, guys, anything for the stream.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you got to keep it PG. Or
I know, exactly. I'm like, YouTube, we're just messing around here, I swear.
Yeah, it's going to give me a strike if you don't keep it PG.
So we want to once again start it off with abandoned places, and that's something that for me I'm very curious about. I've only really gone to one adventure when it comes into an abandoned place with you, but I know you're pretty well experienced when it comes to anything spooky and abandoned, especially at nighttime.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to give us some of your most memorable experiences when it comes into going to abandoned places.
So I have like this obsession with like getting into like spooky houses and just like I love factories, like abandoned factories is like my favorite thing. But it's not always the safest. I mean, it literally is never the safest thing to do this. And a lot of the time my friends don't want to go with me, and I just I can't stop myself in a way. I just have to go and do this. So most of the time I end up doing this by myself, or I do it with one other friend. And one of the times that I took you, it was you and Roscoe, and we decided to go check out this place that was, it used to be a tennis resort years back, and it had been abandoned for a long time. And the hurricanes have really like destroyed the place, but it was a pretty interesting.
Yeah, and it was big too.
It was huge. We didn't see most of it. The one of the main buildings, we weren't able to get to it. It was pretty high up, like all the rooms and everything looked like it was still there. So the place was pretty nice. You fell through one of the floors.
Yeah, I did fall through one of the floors. It was pretty crazy because I thought that the floor, I mean, I knew it was an abandoned place. I was like, okay, it's not going to be too bad. And then, like, as I was going up the stairs, it was like, bah! One of, like, the steps just, like, fell. And I was just like, oh, okay, that could have ended badly.
It's funny because you're trying to, I'm trying to adjust this a little better. You're trying to not make a lot of noise and we're quiet. And I was editing the video. I was laughing because it was this constant, like, hey, come over here.
Yeah.
Hey, and you're just like, I can't hear you. So there's a lot of like, I can't hear you. Come over here. And then you're like, no. Somebody's watching us. And you're just like, okay. So you're like on the ground and hiding. And it was funny because like when we tried to get in, I mean, you could tell that the place was being policed relatively close.
There was security for sure.
It was security on that one. And that one was kind of like not great to do that right away.
Which, by the way, Julia says, okay, when I'm in Florida, I will totally go with. This kind of stuff is my jam. Yes, Julia.
So,
that'd be awesome. The more the merrier.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's like, I mean, as long as the group is not like bigger than like 5, because then it's like really easy to kind of spot people. But there are a couple of places that are pretty easy to get into and they're not so bad and they're not like patrolled. But there are a lot of places that are, and this place was kind of like a risky situation. Like we kind of assessed it, tried to see if we could get in. The thing is I do understand why a lot of people get in trouble with this because they go in and they tag the place or they set it on fire or they steal things. And it's just like, no, we just want to go in, take pictures and get out.
Yep.
And I had seen other explorers that had done this place earlier in the year when I went, and the place was not as trashed as it was when we got there. Because I remember bringing up a couple of things that I saw in their video and I'm like, oh, I know exactly where this place is. We could go check it out. But when we got there, I was actually really disappointed because somebody had gone in. Remember all the monkeys?
Yeah, exactly. They got graffitied and everything. Yeah,
graffitied and like tons of the windows were broken. There's just like glass everywhere. You can tell somebody had been partying there like earlier because it was just like alcohol all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Or
just
homeless people.
Trashed. Yeah, it was just, that was kind of a mess. But the thing that was really, really rough, but it was a good thing that we took care of it, was we took breathing masks.
Yeah, exactly, because
it was bad.
Straight up mold city. It was pretty horrible, actually.
No, that was actually really hard because a couple of times you could tell it was really hard to breathe in there because we took off our masks a couple of times to like adjust.
Yeah.
And it was so gross, like the smell and the mold. And the thing is this place, it closed, I think it was like 10 years ago or so. And it just remained abandoned for a long time. And of course the hurricanes had hit and all that. And a lot of these buildings were falling apart and it was just nasty in a lot of the areas that we were exploring.
Look at that. The wolf is prepared. He's like, I have a gas mask. I'm like, yes.
I mean, it does help. It's like, it looks cool for photos and stuff. I mean, that was like fine. But it's in Florida where we were exploring. It was so hot too.
Yeah, exactly.
We were running around. You forget how hot it is in areas that you're so used to these buildings having air conditioning, and then when you're running in there, you're burning the entire time.
I have to say it was really cool because once again, it was my first time experiencing an abandoned place, and everything kind of was like left in a state of paralysis. It was like the rooms weren't like super destroyed. No. Like there was magazines and like tennis rackets and stuff like that. Yeah, that's how we
saw the date because the magazines had the date.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
The place had closed.
Exactly, and it was really cool to actually explore like every room because each room had like different layouts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it was kind of also really cool to see how nature has taken its course with the resort area, and it was very interesting. I liked it a lot.
No, it was neat. It's one of those places that it had so much stuff there.
Heather's like, yuck, mold. Yeah, I'm like, yes, Heather, yuck.
The mold was pretty bad, and of course you have to really be careful with metal. Anywhere, just because like tetanus is kind of like a big thing. Yeah. So just be careful where you step and all that stuff. And I try to wear pants when I can going to these places so I don't get scratched up. And of course, like you get lockjaw.
Yeah, exactly. It's no bueno.
Yeah, it's like no.
So Lolo says, "Oh man, no mold for me." Yeah. I'm like, yep. You don't want to mess with that. Julia says, I have got to tell you guys about the abandoned hospital I went to a couple of times in college. Absolutely nutso experience because it was patrolled and we were trying to avoid bums inside. Yep. Well, you know a little bit about bums, don't you?
So it's funny because it's like I have little stories for like different things that I've done. Before I go into like the one that I got chased out by the bum.
Yeah.
There was one that I did. I went to go drop off Roscoe at the airport, and there was this really kind of cool location that had a ton of older cars that were abandoned, and it was a giant warehouse, and it was really close to the Sarasota airport, and the Sanford airport. And I went over there, and I got there like about 2 hours too early. I'm like, well, whatever, I'll just go explore this before I go pick up Roscoe. That's all good. So I like crawled in and went in there, and there wasn't a whole lot inside the warehouse. But there were these really cool old cars in the back. And I was like, I'm going to go check this out. I'm going to walk around. It was pretty cool. It wasn't really being patrolled or anything. So it was an easy just get in. Old buses, old trucks, just everything. But then inside the building, it was just empty. But then I started seeing that there had been relatively like fresh footprints from somebody. And I'm like, okay, somebody probably did exactly what I'm doing here. They walked in. They thought it was cool. Took some photos. There was a couple of cars like in the corner that had been set on fire. And I was like, okay. I'm like, that's interesting. So I went over there, fair. Took a couple of pictures, and I started hearing like crunching around, and I'm like, oh, it's probably like a rodent or something. I didn't see anything, but then there was like a middle office, and so I started walking towards that office, and there's just little footprints on the ground, and they're people footprints. I mean, they're not like animal ones. But I was like, oh, whatever. But then I started seeing needles, like everywhere, and I was like, oh. And so I kind of started walking away from that area, and you could hear a door close and open from inside this little office. And I had seen some clothing kind of hanging on the top when I got closer because I couldn't see it from far away, and some towels and stuff. And after I heard that door, I bolted. I was like, I am not dealing with mad crackheads like in this area. I was by myself too. The good thing is it was during the day, so it's just easy to like get out of there. But definitely there was people there. So I told some people I went exploring that place, and they're just like, "Why did you go in there?" That is like definite crack heaven in there. Like,
Lolo's like, nope.
Yeah. So, so I'm just like, okay. I'm like, all right. But I mean, I got some cool photos, some cool video. I'm glad nothing happened. The place is now demolished, but it was just one of those like, all right, that was not the smartest thing in the world, but that's cool.
So Julia goes, oh my God, needles. It's awful when you start to see them. Ugh, yeah, seriously.
And we have a huge heroin issue over here. That's like heroin and just like crack in general and stuff, at least here in Central Florida. So you will find a lot of places that have a lot of drugs in the area. And depending on like where you go, because there's been some locations that I've been to that are so remote that nobody wants to hide in there. Like no bums want to go hide in there. But a couple of the ones that I've been to, because I decided it was smart to go at night and then encounter bums, that's pretty much like the scariest thing ever.
Exactly.
So
Maria Valentic says, hi again. Saw your tweet about the random calling your personal number. Hope it's all sorted.
Yeah, well, that one at least.
They got sorted.
The guy didn't call back. I don't know if the guy was just like legit just found my number and called. At least he didn't sound like nasty on the phone or anything. He was just being very pushy on wanting to know where I was located, and I had to finally like tell him, hey, I mean, especially because you're not giving me your name. I would like to know why you're being so pushy about knowing where I am, but we're not open to the public. But then he was like, oh, okay, sorry about that. And he was fine. It's just, it was weird that he said, are you working back at home? Because I knew you were working at home before. And then him calling my personal number and just not giving me his name. It creeped me out a bit because I do have a business number now. I used to have a Google number before. But I've also opened up a Telegram that's just for Mixed Candy. So when people want to contact me, especially like right away, almost like in a text format, they can just Telegram me. Like you don't have to call and be kind of creepy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was the only thing. It was creepy. So, but I don't think it was maybe meant to be super creepy. It was just weird. So. But
Maria, we appreciate the love and support. My sister's okay.
Yeah. So we're fine. It's like we're good. It's just that we've had encounters with kind of sketchy people, like the lawnmower man, like the
weed whacker
guy.
He's like, I'm coming for you.
So stuff like that. You're weary that people are being weird, and we had like the bike kid, that all that. So we have like everything is either bike man, like weed whacker man. Anytime we have something man connected to it, is some sort of scary story that's like attached to this.
Oh man!
But. Weed whacker guy.
Weed whacker guy.
Man, guy, boy. It's like everybody's like changed it to like things. But,
the wolf don't mess up.
But yeah.
So Lolo goes, I've straight up had a really strange person, a previous local client of mine, randomly showed up at my house one evening. My address isn't public or anything. Yeah. Ooh, that sounds super scary. It's like,
it's the thing. The thing that's like, it's weird that somebody would just show up at your place of work, especially like the way that we do this stuff. It's like, okay, like you build fursuits. We're not like Apple where you have thousands of employees.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just easy to just like walk in like, hey, I would like to buy an iPad. It's not the same. It's like, this is really niche and it's very small. And most of the time, most makers are only either themselves and maybe them and somebody else. And even our team's really small. It's like we have 3 people at the moment and a 4th that comes sometimes. So it's kind of like you're literally just walking into a house where there's like fursuit stuff all over the place, because we do work in a house that's dedicated to just the work stuff.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not in an area where it's, I guess, welcome to get people to come over here, because it's not technically a storefront. We did that for 2 years. We rented a storefront and stuff. And I did have customers to come over and drop off their dummies and all this stuff. But it was also kind of awkward because the way that we work, it's not really, I don't have a secretary. I don't have like a sitting area. I don't have like a viewing area. I don't have any of these like areas. It's literally us working, making a mess in a table, and just, you know, it's not like crazy cool, I guess. It's just we're just sitting there like gluing and sewing. So it's like, what are you coming to see if you don't understand what you're looking at? So yeah.
You know what, sis? I have to say, I really do appreciate you guys always coming in like every Thursday to the streams. So these habaneros have been like staring at me. So
nice.
I actually kind of want to do one. I want to do one for the stream because you guys have always been very supportive of us.
No, but you gotta start with a bite.
I'll start off with a bite.
With a bite, you gotta start off with a bite because you can't eat the whole
so
thing.
So how's about this? Why don't you choose to see which one you want me to take a bite out of?
So this one looks pointy.
I
gotta show it off. Yeah, exactly. Like the ones in when you do makeup stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I already say. It's like
focus on the habanero.
Yeah, it's like,
so get that money.
But
shot.
I love when they do like the makeup. They're like, look at this. Look at this. It's just focusing now.
Maria goes, got milk prepared. I'm like, your boy got it.
So we got this one. So you're gonna take a little bite because we're gonna start off with little bites.
Okay, so little bites. So
little bites.
All right, so stream. This is for you.
That's not a little bite. That's a big bite. Show the inside. You gotta show the inside.
Whoa.
Yeah, don't spit it on the ground because then the dog will eat it, and that's bad.
Oh man.
All right, so.
Oh boy.
But no milk on that one, right?
I don't know. These things are really spicy. Oh. All right, stream. So that one was for you. That one was for you. Woo!
Yeah, we got quite a few. See, I don't really like the spicy stuff, so that's all him, and he's the one that's just like, No, we're not gonna kill the dog. Dog's sleeping over here, being adorable. Oh my goodness.
The computer's like, important updates are pending.
No, Windows, don't try to update right now.
Maria's like, oh my god, don't kill the dog.
No, he's sleeping. He's sleeping.
Yeah, these dogs are super far away, so it's fine.
He's not dead. He's sleeping. But so, you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So like I was telling him, the worst thing to find is having to deal with like a bum hiding inside one of these buildings.
Yeah.
And we went to 2 locations that definitely had homeless people living in them, and they were not the particularly friendly kind. So a lot of the time,
Hey, Johnson, welcome to the stream.
So we went to one that was an abandoned zoo that was here in Florida, and it was really cool. Like if you look it up, and it was called Jungle Safari, something like that. I have a video on my page, but it had a huge gator in the front when you walked in. Do you remember that one? It's a giant gator, and it had a truck inside its mouth, and it was like a guy hanging from it.
No.
So that was like a tiny zoo. They definitely weren't doing things up to code. It was just one of those like roadside attractions, like back on like where, like trying to compete against like Disney stuff and all that.
Yeah.
This is before like Animal
Nice try,
Kingdom.
though.
Yeah, it's like before Animal Kingdom or any of that stuff popped up. So they had that, and they had issues with the animals like running away all the time. Oh, we got. Thank you. Julia's donated.
Julia donated. Yay!
Right. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Julia.
Eat a whole one. It says eat a whole one.
Mwah! Julia, with pleasure. Oh, you know what? Oh man.
Oh wait, no. But we gotta pick. I'm gonna pick this nice fat one.
Oh man. Oh man.
Look at this one.
Woo!
It looks like a mouth. It's like
what that mouth do? What that mouth do? Oh.
So bad.
Julia, this one's for you. All right, count me out. 1,
right.
2, 3, go. Okay, go.
1, 2. Just eat it. Ah! It's like, oh man, you can really smell it in your fingers. Wow, that's really strong. Oh.
All done.
You good?
Oh man. Lois like, what that mouth do?
It's like, ugh.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take the milk for that one. Holy cow!
When does that milk is it expired?
I don't care.
Sometimes we got expired milk here, so Andres doesn't care. He'll just drink it.
Holy
It'll
cow.
just be yogurty, right?
Yeah, yogurt. Yeah, I'm drinking some of that yogurt. Oh.
Yeah, don't touch your eyes.
No, I'm not.
It's a good thing you have glasses.
Ugh.
But going back to the story, I went to this.
Maria goes, "You're supposed to be Latino. Why don't you
No,
handle
no,
spice?"
no,
I'm
no.
like, "I love spice,
Yeah,
but
no.
these
Like,
things are kicking my butt." Oh god.
no, but going back to that, it was a zoo, and then we went into the zoo, and the zoo had quite a few things left behind. There was a lot of cages and everything, which is pretty cool. But there were cages all the way in the back where they used to do kind of it was like a large cat show. So they would release certain cats at a certain time, and then they would have like a ball or something to grab, and people were in like a circular area. There's like a little stadium, and they could see all the stuff going on. But we went in there, and we started playing around in the cages, and all the mechanisms for the cages, like for you to like open one side would work, and then it would close the other. But then we started seeing a lot of dog dishes with dog food in it.
Really?
Like, a lot. And we're like, oh, this is weird. And then we started finding dog beds, and they didn't look very old, and they looked very lived in, like, oh, this is kind of weird, and this is a zoo. This isn't, like, why are there dogs here? And then there was a building that was to the side, and I think it's where they were keeping some of the cats before, and we went in, and it was bedding, clothing, food, a kitchen, I mean, like, everything. Somebody had moved in there with quite a few people. We were still at this location when the sun was going down, and we started hearing people, like, coming towards us, and we thought we heard dogs, and we're just like, oh, uh-oh.
Like,
I think people are coming back. It's like, because when we found all this stuff, we're like, we need to leave. Like, immediately.
Julia's like, that's right, drink that milk.
Exactly, because that's what's going to help you. But it was just one of those things that we kind of, like, fell into, like, a nest in a way, like a camping area for all these people, and they happened to have dogs, so it wasn't very great. So we ended up leaving. Nothing happened, but it was one of those, like, kind of like close encounter, but it could have been bad. I mean, who knows? We did hear people coming towards us. It could have been other explorers, but because we found all that dog stuff and food and things that were very much like from the day, we ended up leaving. We're just like, we got to go. They're probably going to be coming back. We need to run, like, get out of here, like, right now. So after that, we decided, well, you know, we haven't had enough of a shit time that we're going to go back and do this the next weekend. And then my friend and I decided that
let's do it again.
We wanted to visit another place, but the first place that we visited was totally fine. The problem was, it was called Splendid China, which was a theme park. That was
that's a
abandoned
cool story.
here.
I like that one.
Like, it was abandoned here in Florida, and I've been to that one a couple of times. And now it's gone. Especially because they built all the stuff for, like,
but you have like a little memento for it, which is really cool.
I have a little bit of the Wall of China that they had there. They had tons of miniatures. I love miniatures. And when I was really young, I went to this place when it was still around, and then they ended up closing it, and all these things were kind of left there. And a lot of the really expensive miniatures were sold off, but there was a Wall of China that was built all like throughout the park. It was really cool and has like tiny bricks and everything. The last time I went there, I mean, it was all kind of just falling apart in areas, so I took a little piece of the wall, and I have it at home. And it's got the cutest little bricks and stuff. But I did keep that. But when I went with my friend, they had a bunch of demolition crew stuff there and everything. And when we walked in, it was pretty cool. You could like play around with all this stuff. And but the thing is it turned out to be at night because the sun went down too fast on us. Yeah, you are.
Well, it's like, oh, she got that dragon front going on. Breathe that fire. Yep. I'm like, so, wow.
But the sun went down on us because we were having so much fun exploring the area. And if you know anything about Splendid China, and if you don't, read up on it. It's actually a really kind of weird, interesting story. The park was huge. But we kept on walking and walking, and with my friend, we got lost. And it was just middle of the night. We got lost.
Wow.
Because we flew a drone in there first to kind of check to see if we could like see the area, because, you know, if we fly a drone, technically you're not trespassing. Like the air is free, so it's like go fly around. So we did that.
The air is free.
So we did that, and then nothing was in there, and then we decided to go in, and we did all this stuff. But the problem is we got so distracted playing around on things and just going deeper and deeper into this park that we got 100% lost, and GPS wasn't working so hot. So we kind of walked around in circles a little bit until we figured out a way to get out. But it was like 9 o'clock or something. It was pretty late, and we're just like walking, and we finally get out. Super fun. Nobody saw us there. The place was pretty much left to rot, but that was super fun. Loved it. And I went to Splendid China like, I don't know, 5 times. It was actually pretty cool. But
so the wolf says, one thing that I do to help to not get scared, you gotta be scary.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay. So I was like, I'm gonna scare somebody.
The thing is when you have like a person who's living there in that place where they shouldn't live, they usually have weapons. They're usually armed with something. And because it's Florida, everybody's got a gun of some sort. The thing is if you do go exploring whatsoever, don't ever take weapons with you, because if you do get caught, it's actually like a really, really, really bad thing. So I never take anything. I usually just take food, because a lot of the times when like a homeless person finds you, you can give them food, and they're usually pretty chill about that, unless they want to actually hurt you.
Yeah, exactly.
So most of the time they're fine.
So Julia says, oh man, I took a medicinal journal from the abandoned hospital I went to, and the entries are from 1926. It's so cool to read through it. Yeah, that actually sounds really cool.
See, I love that stuff. Florida doesn't have like super crazy old stuff, just because we're a tourist sort of place, especially here in Central Florida. So a lot of the stuff that's been abandoned, it's not super crazy old. It's very interesting, because my girlfriend, she has a friend that she likes to go to abandoned places, or like abandoned like homes and stuff like that, and she likes to collect pictures, like pictures of like families of like back in the day, and she has a really awesome extensive collection of pictures from like the early 1900s, and she has them all like taped up in like a mural. But it's really, really cool to see like all these things in the past, like medicinal journals and pictures and things such as that. So yeah, like props to that. That's really cool. I would have definitely taken it. I mean, it's neat. It's one of those things with like urbex stuff. You try not to destroy the place. I mean, it's like, because that's not the point of it. And I mean, and any time that I've like taken anything has been like a key or like a little thing. I don't go in there like ripping things off the wall or anything like that, because I try not to like break anything. But if it's like on the ground, and if it's just like kind of there, I'm like, well, it's like, I guess I'll just take that as like a little memento. But when you know,
sis, no, something interesting.
I thought you were gonna like throw up.
No.
I was like,
no. Something interesting. You say memento. I say memento.
Memento.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I think
I'm like, Stream, you decide. Memento or momento? Because I've heard both, and they both sound right. So I'm like,
I think it depends probably where you're from.
Maybe? I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Maybe it's like based on like your accent, or I've always heard it as memento, but I mean, I could be wrong. Could be momento.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they both sound right. Yeah. Go ahead.
But like, yeah, I mean, you take little things to remember. But we decided that after Splendid China, because we had such a good time exploring that night, that we wanted to make our night go to hell. Like, we seriously...
Let's turn it into Silent Hill.
We seriously wanted to get scared, like out of our wits completely. So my friend, we got another one.
Hi, Digo the Husky.
Digo.
Hey, Digo, welcome to the stream.
So we decided, all right, we're going to go to this abandoned hotel that is very close to Splendid China. It's been abandoned for a long time, and I don't see any problem getting in. It seems like a really easy explore. Let's go do that. Mm-hmm. It was probably like 9 at night, almost 10. It was late. It was really late. And I thought, well, hey, no problem. Let's go. Yeah. So we had a friend drop us off, and he decided, all right, I'll wait for you somewhere. Just give me a call when it's ready for pickup. I'm like, oh, cool. We'll do that. But
oh, Varric, once again, welcome to the stream again, brother. Good to see ya. So, Fleeting Fennec, aka Lolo, says, I don't personally have much experience with exploring scary places because I'm awkward and will laugh out of fear, But if you really want to get scared, Ohio is the spookiest place.
So I have done stuff in Ohio. No, I'll bring that up as well.
Oh, nice.
Because I try to go to different states to see like scary stuff.
And Diego says hello from Germany. Oh, awesome.
Cool.
What is it? Ich liebe dich?
Oh, it's like, I love you.
I love you. Well, the closest thing, the very butcher Latino boy saying in Dutch, I love you. So, lots of love.
So, we decided to go to this hotel. It was a night. It wasn't very smart of us. I do have a video up on my YouTube channel for that, of course. Because I'm like, if I'm going to get chased out of anywhere, I'm going to actually take video. The one thing I will say with the encounter that we had, I was so bummed out that I stopped recording literally a minute right before this thing happened. Because I was trying to conserve the battery on my GoPro. So I usually have a GoPro on my chest or a GoPro on my head. Usually on my chest I get like better views. Or I'll have it on both. So it's just one of those things. We started exploring. The hotel had a ton of stuff inside. A lot of the rooms still had like all the bedding, lights, TVs, everything. A lot of it was broken. Mold had, of course, taken over everything. It's Florida. Most of the time, mold kind of destroys everything. We're walking around. We went into this one room that used to be probably like their record-keeping room of some sort. So there was tons of computers in there, hard drives. I mean, everything. Everything was pretty much left behind. It was kind of weird. So we kept on hearing things at that one, but we just assumed because there was so much water damage that was inside that hotel, we thought it was the water hitting the stuff. And a lot of the carpet that we were stepping on was mushy, so every time we'd make like noises, it would be from our feet most of the time. But sometimes we thought we kept on hearing other footsteps, so we were kind of scaring ourselves because we're thinking, we don't automatically think, oh my god, it's a ghost. I mean, we always think like, we're being followed. Yeah. So we're walking
or a ghost.
Yeah. But it's like, if I was a ghost, I would just be floating around. I wouldn't be like stepping and be like, I'm going to make squishy noises. And so they know I'm like right behind them. So we kept on going deeper and deeper into the hotel, and it's late. It's really late. We're not making a whole lot of noise, but at the same time, we're talking. My friend and I were like, hey, we should go in here. We should go in there. And we're just like walking. I'm like, man, it's really hard to breathe in here. So we went out into, because the hotel had rooms that were on the outside where it's like a motel, where you have the hallway that faces the outside and the rooms are there. And it was a beautiful night. I remember that. And then I started seeing these big wires coming out of different rooms. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And they were going out into the street and connecting with the electrical stuff. And I was like, that's odd. Oh, that's weird. That means people are probably in here. And right as we're seeing that, somebody had put wire in different areas. I tripped over it because it was literally like a Home Alone type of trap. Yeah. I like fell forward while my friend is like, we should go into this room. As he doesn't see me falling, he tries to open the room. A guy's in there. I'm like caught in cords. And I guess I pulled something while I was doing that because I pulled it in. It woke up the guy in there, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? Get out of my room.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. So we're just like, because we see the guy open the door, swing it open as we're running down the hallway in the middle of the night, second story. We have no clue what's going on. I'm telling my friend, just run. Just keep running. Just like, don't stop. And then the guy's running behind us, but it's at night, so he can't see too well. And he's just like, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, what do we do? So we hid in the stairwell. We wait till this guy like runs by us, and we're like, stay really quiet. Don't say anything. Dude runs by, like disappears.
Oh man.
Then I told my friend, run downstairs. Like, I don't care if you throw yourself downstairs. We need to get out of here. This dude's crazy. He's going to kill us. And it's like, we run downstairs. We literally throw ourselves down the stairs. Run. I'm on my phone calling my friend. Dude, pick us up right now. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. Pick us up right now. We need to leave this place right now. And then he comes over. Evacuate. It's like, I'm like, have the doors unlocked. We're going to run into the car. We like run in. And then I'm like, go, 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 go. I don't care. Just go. I'm like, these people are going to come out and they're going to kill us. So we're just like, get in the car. We leave. We're all like, never again. That was really stupid. Of course, I'm talking to a couple of the other Urbex kids on one of the chats that I'm in and said, are you stupid? Why did you go to that hotel? You were probably being watched by about 7 to 10 other homeless people. That place has had like other Urbexers actually injured. Like the people in there are extremely violent, because they're all druggies. And I'm like,
you're like, oh, wonderful.
Thanks for the heads up, because I told you guys I was thinking of going there. They're like, no, we thought you were thinking of a different hotel. And I was like, no, I posted a picture. You guys knew it was that hotel, and I was just like, well, we're glad nothing happened to you. But
so, to read some comments, Matt Ulrey says, well, first of all, welcome, Matt, to the stream. And
that's Frazzle.
Oh, it's Frazzle?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's good to see you, Frazzle. So, yes, Ohio is quite creepy. Awesome. So, yeah, it is. I mean, from what you've been telling me, it's pretty creepy. So, Diego the Husky says, that was correct. I love you. Each live a dish. Awesome. Diego the Husky once again says, I was in an old bunker. It was so big and dark, and something fell behind from a desk. It was so scary. I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty spooky. I was like, ugh, that would have scared me a lot. Lolo, as you were telling that story, goes, nope. Julia, I am loving these stories. I'm loving them too. I wish I had more experience to talk about these more, but my sister's definitely got the floor on this stream. Yeah, she's like, no, this made me screech. Nope. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because, like, now the Ohio people that are in here, Matt, I went with you because Matt has this one. So I went with Matt, it was like 2 years ago or so when I went with you. We went to the abandoned, it was like a paint factory, the one we were there. That's the one that we were wearing the Elizabeth masks and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we took a bunch of video in there. And that was pretty cool. Like, I didn't see anybody there. We took some really awesome photos and video. The place was pretty just neat in general, but you can tell there were homeless people living on the bottom floor because we found a ton of human poop.
I was like,
everywhere. It was just turds all over the place and a bed. I'm like, all right, somebody's definitely living here.
It's like, all right.
And then we ended up going to the jail.
Which
jail where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
Alcatraz?
No. That's the Ohio jail.
Oh, isn't that
the Ohio Reformatory?
That...
No, it's Ohio Reformatory.
Yeah. Ohio Reformatory.
And that one was pretty cool, but that one you actually have to take a tour. You don't have to break into that one or anything like that, which is nice. So you take a tour, and I think they have like the haunted tours, but we weren't there for that. But yeah, the one that was like the paint factory, or the one that we went to that was abandoned in Ohio, that was something that Quick, our friend, found and was like, "Oh, you want to do something fun for your birthday?" Okay, this is about to get worse. Somebody like just wants to bleed tonight. That's what you wanted to do.
Stream, why'd you make me do that? God.
Yeah, Mansfield. See, so Fleeting
Mansfield?
Nose, Mansfield Reformatory.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was really, really neat, and we have this burlap sack looking lady called Elizabeth, and we took her in there to take photos and video. See, now you're choking.
Went down the wrong pipe.
But it was really cool. I haven't seen a ton of other stuff in Ohio. I know there's a bunch of houses and things because I keep finding all these like really fun locations because I find a lot of this stuff just searching through Google Maps. Like you look through areas that you think might have like kind of sketchy places, and if you go on Google Maps, you start looking to see like just look at the way the roofs are, just the yards and everything, and it kind of gives you an idea if the place has been abandoned for a while. So that's how I found a lot of places, especially local. And sometimes I'll take the bike and I'll just drive around and see what I can find. And you usually find stuff like that too, which is pretty cool. When I would take the Vespa around. The nice thing about taking the scooter around is that if you do find a really cool place, you can hide it a lot easier than a car because you can hide it in a bush. That's usually what I had done. It's like I like tuck it into the bush and then I go.
No, you should get those scooters that you can like drop off anywhere.
Oh, the bird scooters. They're like, yeah, that's kind of not the location to leave one.
Yeah.
But
it's like, what's going on here? Always in the middle of nowhere.
No, Matt's right. It says, yeah, we did actually scare people in the jail because we kept on popping up. Oh, we shoved you, Matt, because you're so tiny. We shoved you in a cabinet, and you're just like popping out like, hey guys. And this thing is actually kind of unsettling, the mask. And especially because you guys weren't really making any noises, and they weren't sure if that was part of the jail tour or not, so that was a little weird. But
and Julia going, Andres, getting your daily serving of veggies tonight.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's tonight. You're just gonna be like, I hate my life so much.
Wake up in the morning tomorrow. I'm like, I can't go to work.
It's like everything. Yeah, exactly. I can't go to work, but I'm like, come on, let's go to work.
Stream, it's all part of the plan.
It's like no. But I have like very similar stories with like with encounters with the close encounters with the homeless kind.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's just, and a lot of the times they're not dangerous, but sometimes, well, I mean, if you scare them, it's like anything. You're going to react. You're going to freak out. There's a explorer that I actually like watching and stuff. He watched some of this stuff with me too, Dan Bell.
Oh, he's great.
And he does all the abandoned mall series and everything. And it's pretty cool, a lot of the places that he goes. And I think he lives over, I think he lives in Michigan. But he goes to a lot of abandoned homes and a lot of locations that are a little too sketchy for me. The thing that stops me from doing more urbex kind of on my own is I'm a woman, and being a woman is a lot more dangerous because of you potentially getting raped and killed a lot easier.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I go by myself, I try to dress more androgynous in a way, or more masculine, by kind of hiding my hair, putting it up, wearing a cap, wearing all black. And that way you're not so much of a target if somebody wanted to mess with you.
So, Diego the Husky says, another,
Are you okay?
yeah, another story. 2016. I was in an old house at 2:34 a.m. and my flashlight was flickering, and I heard crackling sticks, and I thought, nope, I'm out of here. Yeah, we'd be noping out of there too.
We'd be noping all the way.
I was like, nope. Out. Lolo says, so. All right, you can take this, Lolo comment.
Are you about to vomit?
So actually, I can do this, stream. I can do this. So there was once a place local to me growing up, known as the Witch's Grave in Ohio. I never ever went because of my obvious laugh issue. Because there are stories of people getting into lethal car accidents coming back from the grave. You know what? I think I heard about that in a YouTube video.
Oh, really?
About that place, yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, you don't really want to risk it.
No,
and I don't blame you, Lolo. I wouldn't either.
No, if it's... So, Andres, you keep asking me, like, do you believe in ghosts? And I'm always like, no, but I say no, but I look for them. So Andres does.
I do.
I don't, but I look for them. So I'm like that weird kind of person, like, I want to find something enough that is evidence for me in my mind to say it's so... I mean... to make it believable. So the other thing that I've done, and you haven't done it with me, but you would do it with me, a lockdown. Mm-hmm. So I did the lockdown. I did it with Matt, actually, because Matt's in here, and you went with me.
Excuse me, Frazzle?
I mean, Frazzle. Matt Ulray, that's in my chat. He went with me, and we did the one, we did Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And I wanted to do that for my birthday, because I love doing messed up stuff for my birthday. And we ended up staying there overnight, and it was actually really cool because we got to explore the whole place, and the history for the place was like really sad, and supposedly it's very haunted. We didn't see anything.
Diego says, so it's 1:42 a.m. I'm going to sleep. Bye. Diego, thank you for coming to the stream. We hope to see you come next Thursday. You're awesome.
See you out.
Bye.
But yeah, see, Matt said it was a great lockdown. It was really, really neat because it was one of those things that you went there knowing the history of the place. I had read a ton about it. I had seen videos, all sorts of photos. They filmed like scary movies in it. I mean, they've done all sorts of cool stuff when, and they do like a haunted house in every year for it. But this place was actually really trippy and really kind of scary at night. I never said I saw anything because I didn't. It just, a lot of stuff just kind of plays tricks with your mind because the place has like really bad history.
So Julia goes, same Val. I want to see/experience something paranormal so badly, like something that absolutely can't be debunked.
Exactly. Oh yeah, Matt was trying to sleep in the crematory furnaces.
Was he really?
Yeah, and then we were messing around, and you got screamed at because they said, "Don't taunt the ghosts because you're being inappropriate." And then we ended up playing Big Booty.
Big Booty.
Yeah. And then like Bubble Butt. It was everywhere. So we were like playing Bubble Butt everywhere. And of course, they didn't appreciate it. And the other group that we were placed with, they had a spirit box and like a laser box that pops out things everywhere. And I guess you'd see a ghost like shoot out and something. It was weird. And it was just one of, like, they were really serious about the ghosty thing, but they were believing more like it was just like with machines and things and whatnot. And we were there more for like let's see if we get scared. But I mean, the place scares you by being the actual building, by being scary and loud and weird, and animals can easily walk in there because there's no windows. Everything's been busted out. So when people are like, I heard a noise, I'm like, it could be a bird.
So
it could be a bat.
So sis, I want to ask you a question. When it comes down to it, I know you're very skeptical when it comes to ghosts.
Yeah.
Or anything related to ghosts. So let's say hypothetically speaking, you actually do encounter a ghost. Do you feel like throughout so many years of you being a skeptic, would you feel that even if you would see a ghost, you still wouldn't believe that it's a ghost?
It would have to be like so.
There has to be like
legit,
requirements and check marks.
Right. So
center frame and a camera.
No. So if I see something, like if I physically think, oh my goodness, that is a figure or whatever it is, and I usually have cameras with me. I have cameras everywhere all the time. And I would technically probably have a camera strapped to me somewhere or on my hand, and the camera gets it and my eyes get it, and what the camera sees is the same as my eyes, then I would start to go, all right, that was kind of, I might want to think about what I saw.
Okay.
I mean, that would be one of those things. I wouldn't be like, oh my goodness, really immediately, I believe in every ghost ever. But it would just be one of those like, okay, that's really scary, and I kind of want to research it more.
So, Fleeting Fennec, aka Lolo, says, I do have one experience. I went with friends to this haunted graveyard. You had to go through this very obscured path in the woods to find it. As we were going through, we heard a screaming baby. Ooh.
Oh, see, that's...
You're like, okay, run!
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that would freak me out. I'm like, and also depending on the
like,
proximity of how close the screaming baby was, because I'm like, yeah, that's...
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Things that scare me are... Well, they bother me, I guess. Like, a laughing child randomly in the night, like, that's wrong. Like, even like a crying baby, anything like that. Like, weird noises that are like, why would anybody be laughing over here or crying? Or, I mean, why in the middle of nowhere? So, we have some stories with, Casing Fuchs Goku, he's a BC four-suiter. He's posted pics of fursuiting in abandoned places. Oh, cool.
Interesting.
I'll have to check that out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Feral children. Yeah.
Feral children.
No, I don't want that. That sounds like a nightmare.
That sounds pretty awesome to like see, but scary at the same time.
That sounds like a nightmare. But, so, we lived in creepy houses.
Yes.
So we lived in Colombia for a lot of our lives, and that's not Columbia.
Not Columbia University, but COLO.
We lived in South America, and we rented a lot of older homes. And we lived in one that I personally had like things that I would think are experiences, but because even as a child, I didn't want to believe all these things because in my mind, I'm like, there's no way this stuff. As an adult, it's just fun stories. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, I don't know if it was just like my mind was like, oh, I definitely felt this. I definitely saw this. But
yeah, it's funny because Lolo goes, lol, I thought you guys were judging my laughing prop. I'm like, excuse me.
No.
It's just, I think for me, I can also fall into the Lolo campground.
When you're nervous, you're like...
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm going to be laughing it off. Because,
no, me too, yeah.
I mean, but unless it's like a spook where it's like that, I'll be like, oh. But then if I see something scary, I'll definitely laugh my ass off.
No, you'll be like...
Self-defense mechanism, and then I'll be running.
No. I think that's pretty normal to be like, no.
And Julia goes, I want to believe. Literally, once Julia said that, I just cued the X-Files. Like,
I love that show. That was like my show.
So, go back to the story when it comes to Colombia.
So, in Colombia, we were renting places, and a lot of these places had very, like, kind of dark history sometimes. And there were places that my friends' families were renting, and people had committed suicide in some of the rooms. Mm-hmm. Of course, Mom would tell me and say, don't tell your best friend somebody did blah, blah, blah in this room. And I'm like, I'm going to go tell her because that's awesome. And she was like, that is not awesome. And I'm like, that means we can probably see a ghost. She's like, that's really messed up. And I was like, all right. But in South America, there's a lot of superstition, a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are very like heavily religious and stuff, and they believe in a lot of things, and we were also taught to believe in spooky stuff that would happen. I mean, they were like, I think it's funny because there's a scary movie coming out now called La Llorona, the crier, and we knew about that story about the woman that comes and snatches kids at night if you're crappy.
Exactly.
It's just like, you kidding me? And I was like, oh, and then
just spooky stuff, no big deal.
And we had the boogeyman as well called El Coco.
El Coco.
Remember El Coco?
Honestly, every time I hear the word Coco, I can't take it straight because we used to go to this island off of Colombia called San Andres, and we used to have this like alcoholic drink called El Coco Loco, which got you very messed up. 2 Coco Locos and you're done. But yeah, go ahead.
We had El Coco, and it's like the boogeyman. And it's a monster sort of. It's a ghost. It's weird because it's like I was reading about it more as an adult, and I'm like, man, this is more messed up than I thought as a kid.
Yeah.
So El Coco lives under your bed.
I love how she's like, the Coco lives under your bed.
It's under your bed. So he's like, bro, you go to sleep, or I'm gonna come and kill you at night.
You're out.
So your parents would go at night and would tell you like, go to sleep. Like there's a rhyme that goes with it, and it literally tells you go to sleep or you're gonna die. So it's just like, okay, so as a child, you're just like, okay, cool, I'm going to close my eyes because I'm going to die. So it's like, all right. But if you're like that crappy kid that like, jumps the bed and then the Coco can't reach his hand and like snatch you and pull you under the bed, then you have to deal with La Coca. And she lives in your roof. So she waits till you walk out of the house and she snatches you and eats you up.
Oh, God, that's scary.
So it's either the chick Coco or the Coca. So it's either way, you're screwed.
And Coco.
So as a kid, they tell you these stories so you don't get out of the house in the middle of the night because something bad could happen to you. I mean, you can just tell me, don't wake up in the middle of the night because somebody could come and kidnap you or kill you, instead of you saying that, well, there's a monster living on the roof and there's one that lives in your bed every night and knows everything. I
love Matt Ulrich's solution. Cut the legs off your bed, problem solved.
No, but what if he like slips out like a rat? It just like comes out, it's like grabs you.
Hello, friend.
So this is part of why I was kind of messed up as a kid. So when you have El Coco lives under your bed, then I had also watched Pet Sematary.
Oh, God.
Where the baby is under the bed. Not the new one, because the new one's really different, and the new movie was like, but the baby is under the bed and cuts the guy's Achilles heel.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna vomit. So it was just like, as a kid, I'm like, dead baby under the bed with a knife or El Coco. I might as well just die.
So Lolo goes, man, I grew up getting scared of leeches after watching Stand By Me. But y'all over there with monsters everywhere.
So it's like, it is like straight up monsters. And so La Llorona, it was funny because they would tell us La Llorona when we go camping. So it was to keep you inside your tent at night. So you're sleeping there and you're like, if at night you hear the hoo-hoo-hoo, because it's a crying woman and she's lost her kids because I think they drowned in the river. So it's trying to get you as a kid not to get close to rivers because you could drown. I mean, you could literally drown for real at night. But La Llorona supposedly is looking for replacement children so she can take you as her kid and snatch you and take you into the trees and you disappear and just like, bye, go into the forest. So that would scare you so you didn't go out at night.
Yeah, exactly.
And it worked. Then there was Pata de Palo, which is the woman with the wooden leg. So if you heard this like da-doom, 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 every night.
Oh man, you're triggering me from my Colombia days.
No, it is. And it's a woman, sometimes it's a man, but a lot of times the way it was told to me, it was this woman with a wooden peg leg. And if you heard her, she was like coming to snatch you. It was always after the kids. Like, what the heck did the kids do? I'm like, go after the adults or something. I'm like, but they were always like, no, we're hungry for children. And it was like, and all right, like that's cool. Oh no, like we got 2 dogs.
We got two doggos.
But it was all these like scary stories that they would tell us as kids, and because people were very superstitious over there, they believed in these things and they legit thought that these things were there. I'm like, okay. So we're renting this house in the one in Ciudad Jardín.
Yep.
And something about this house was wrong. And it always felt wrong, at least to me.
Yeah.
So remember, because you guys are younger, because you're 4 years younger.
Yeah.
When we went into that house, Mom said, because it had a lot of rooms. It was a relatively big house with a bunch of rooms all over the place. And there's a bunch of us too. So she was like, everybody can pick your rooms. Remember? Mm-hmm. So you guys ended up picking the rooms that were to the right, that were close to Mom, and there was 2 rooms with a bathroom in the middle. and it was the bedroom and like a game room.
Exactly.
So you guys kept those. You guys were set. You guys never moved out of that room.
Nope.
And I said, okay, cool. Okay,
cool.
There's 3 other rooms that I can pick. They had mom's like, leave one as a guest room, but you can pick, of course, any of the other 2 rooms. And there were smaller rooms too. And I'm like, okay. And there was one that was next to mom's, and because I wanted to be close to my parents, because I like being close to my parents. But that one had a giant window, and it would look into the pool. Because the houses over there they're built a little different than here. A lot of the houses there like to build their house around the pools. And everything is kind of open towards the pool. It's actually a really neat setup. It feels really open. Do you remember how different that was?
You know what's funny is, you literally brought me flashbacks about it. Yeah, like
with the pool in the middle and everything around it.
Yeah.
And air conditioning is not a thing. So we have open windows, open doors, a lot of open stuff, which means animals can kind of come in. So you kind of have issues with like rodents,
snakes.
Snakes sometimes would come into your
bats.
Like, yeah,
bats.
The stupid
guys.
bats would come in.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah. Like, everything would just come in. So if you didn't like animals, it wasn't the best time to live in Colombia. But you had to leave stuff open, because if not, you would suffocate. It was hot.
Lola goes, I think all we had was Bloody Mary and Candyman. Candyman? I'm like, yeah, forget about that. That's super scary.
But you gotta say it, yeah. Remember
I know,
what Candyman is? Like Bloody Mary, you say it like 3 times. Then you wait for him to pop up.
God, that's too scary.
But
Candyman.
I picked this room, no big deal. Everything is fine. I had my TV and I had my toys, whatnot. I'd go to sleep, and the damn closet would always open. I hate open rooms a lot of the time. Like, if the bathroom door is open, I like to close it. I like to close the closet. I just don't like open doors on stuff. I'm like, all right, that's not funsies or anything. And the closet would open, and you're just like, cool. The thing that I didn't bring up about this house is a lot of houses in Colombia have panic rooms. Mm-hmm. Because in Colombia, at the time when we were living there, it was very dangerous. So a lot of these houses would have ways that you could crawl into the walls and disappear if a kidnapping situation happened, because it was just a safety thing.
Exactly.
So some of them had fake sort of doors inside the closet or anywhere in the room, so you could slip through and disappear into the middle of the house and nobody could find you, which was good and bad, because everything likes to live between these walls too. So we're in there. You guys are fine. No issues whatsoever. Every single night, the closet would open.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like, I'm done. And I started packing up all my stuff, and mom's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I want to move to the other room. I want to move to the one the furthest away from your bedroom, because I don't like this room. There was something eerie that every single night that closet door would open, and I would put things against it, and they would open. And I'm like, I'm done with feeling like I'm going to have a heart attack every night. And I had like shears when you would close the window so it would never get really dark. And the moon would shine on the pool.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it would create really weird kind of shadows that it looked like there were people walking back and forth into the kitchen, because all this was open. Because it would face into like a little nook area that was outside and into the kitchen, because this was all open. And it always felt like people were walking. And I'm like, I'm done. I want to go to bed. I'm like, I'm too young to be seeing things. I'm not on drugs. I'm not on anything. I'm like, I just really need to just go to sleep. So,
so Lolo goes, what's the closest experience you've both had with paranormal stuff? Also, Val, nope, with that closet.
Yeah. No, but this is the thing, because this is, I would say, the closest to anything.
Yeah.
Because this progressively got worse. And that was the thing about something was wrong with this house. So we had bodyguards at the time, too, that were there, and they were very, very superstitious. And the bodyguards were also the people that drive you around.
Yeah.
And because a little different than here in the States and stuff. There's more for safety reasons. And they would tell me that there was something that they couldn't tell, but it looked like a person that liked to sit in this really, like, tall chair in the living room of that house.
Yeah.
So there was a very, very old mirror that had, like, it's almost like rust that happens to mirrors. I'm not sure exactly what it's like. It's like something that happens to mirrors, and they get really dirty and you can't really clean them. But it was that old mirror that was from great grandmother.
Yeah, and it was super spooky mirror.
That mirror, if you looked into the mirror, you always thought that you would see reflections that were part of the sitting area that would always mess with you. And every time we were in that room, I would walk through that room with blinders. I would do this with my hands as a kid. because I didn't want to deal with what I could potentially see. Something always felt wrong. And that was the thing. I've never really fully seen anything. I've always felt things. So that's the part that I'm like, I can't say 100% I've seen anything because I don't think I ever have, but I've always felt stuff. And then I started talking to the bodyguards, and they said that they would see a person that would always look like a dark figure, like almost like a shadow person. And if you don't know what a shadow person is, you should look it up, and that way you don't sleep ever again. So, shadow people are probably the scariest thing in my mind to imagine. And supposedly, they said that they could see this large figure that looked like a person, like an adult, sitting on this chair. The problem was this chair was always facing away when you would have to walk down the hall and into the kitchen.
And it was in your peripheral vision.
You would see it there. Yeah. So I would walk with my hand like this. Yeah, exactly. You remember that? Those big chairs? It was like really high back chairs.
I would look down on the ground as I was passing by because I didn't want to see that
No,
either.
Everybody had an issue with that room. And I don't know why. It was just, we never really talked about it. And Mom would always go, what is your problem? You guys walk like idiots with your hand up and you run. Like you always run. I'm like, Mom, there's something about the sitting room. It bothers me the way the light comes in there, the way stuff just feels like it moves in there. And it always bothered me forever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I would go back to bed because you couldn't just drink water from the sink, remember? Yeah. Because you would get worms.
Yeah. You would have to go purified water.
So you have to go get water that was filtered, so it was in the kitchen, because you would have to get a pot of water that had been boiled earlier in the week, and that was how we were filtering our water, because we didn't have sanitary water. So we couldn't just be like, I'm just going to go drink from the sink, which I do now, thankfully.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hooray, first world country.
That's why if you ever get to meet me, sometimes that mindset goes back, it kicks back, especially if I stay with you in a place where, like a different state. I'll always ask, I don't know why, it's in my head, especially if I go to different countries, is the water safe to drink? Yeah, most of the time it is. And people will go, where are you from?
The water's
because
safe
we used to get worms a lot. Yeah, a lot. And it was really painful and just not something I recommend. But that room that I ended up keeping, I mean, that was my bedroom for the time being, was the main bedroom, had really weird vaulted ceilings, had a fan that was off kilter, so if you put it at full speed, it would go do-do, do-do, and I'm just like, please stop. I'm like, but I needed the fan on because it was so hot. Yeah. So, and then in the middle, it was the main room, like a hallway that was the bathroom that connected with the guest room. Remember that? Mm-hmm. So it was just like the bedroom, bathroom, and that room. That room was messed up.
Yeah, like the middle room in the hallway area. Yeah.
Something was wrong in that middle room. So Andres mentioned bats. Yeah. Bats love to go into my room at night.
They love sis.
Yep. And they would get hit by the fan and get projectiled in my room. Mm-hmm. So if I had the fan on, you would cross your fingers and you go, I hope that tonight I don't have a bat randomly, because birds wouldn't come in at night because they were asleep, randomly come into my room, get projectile by the fan, hurt, because, I mean, a lot of them did die that way, and then tossed into your bed, which wasn't a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go to sleep, and I remember, because Felipe had these experiences, too, and this is the thing that was creepy. I remember talking to one of my other brothers, and I mentioned how I had these, like, really weird experiences at the house, because the house always creeped me out. Felipe was like, no, I remember having that, too. Yeah. And it was something would mess with us in the bed. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you guys ever liked it, like if whenever your mom made your bed or you made your own bed, like really tight sheets. So when you slip into bed, you feel like an envelope, like mail inside. And I'm like, it's like nice and tight, these sheets. And a lot of people like them like really loose. Yep. So I'd get in there and I was like, nice and tight. I'm like, that's cool. But then I would go to sleep. And my sheets would always feel the pull.
Yeah, like somebody's
like
there.
Somebody was pulling from, and it was always from one corner. I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's cool. So I thought, as a kid, I'm like, it's probably because the sheets are so tight. And when I'm moving around and I'm pulling, the sheets are probably always, because they're tucked funny. Yeah. And I was like, it's probably that, whatever. So I started, because I remember Mom going, why are you untucking your sheets? So I started untucking my sheets. So it was just a loose sheet on the top. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't, worry about the thing. Same thing would happen all the time. Tucking
that's so creepy.
Of the corner of the sheet. Eventually, the sheet would be gone pretty much all the way in the corner. And I would be too scared to go grab it because, you know, El Coco lives under the bed. Everything lives under the bed. So you're just like, I guess I'll die here, freezing. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'll just like, all right, I'll just close my eyes and just have a really terrible night.
Yeah,
but
essentially.
I would feel that, and it would happen pretty often. And I started getting angry, physically angry. Stop! Whatever is going on in here. And I would just be like, I'm done. I don't care if Coco's going to cut my feet. I'm going to get up. And I would get up and I'd turn on the light because it wasn't like, I would have to physically get up to turn on the light. I'm like, stop. I don't care what it is. And I remember having an argument with it. And I'm just like, I'm either crazy or I'm feeling something because I never saw it, or what's going on. I'm like, all right, cool. And it happened a couple of times, but that was it. That was all that was happening. Something kept on pulling my sheet, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then the doors started happening again, but it wasn't just a closet that would open in this room because I don't know what was wrong with these closets. But the closet, whenever it would open, I wasn't too worried about that one because that one did have a trap door in that one. So you could go into your closet room because I scared you guys a couple of times.
Yeah, she was a fan
by
of
popping
that.
through the closet because ours connected through. It was part of that panic room kind of thing. You just hide and disappear.
Yeah.
But when the closet would open, I would think it was one of you guys. Sometimes I would ask you guys like, Felipe, Andres, Daniel, like, who's in there?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't, I mean, most of the time you guys would be fine. Because Felipe did that too. And he thought it was me. And then he came to my room and was like, you were asleep.
Yeah.
You were asleep. Like mouth open, not fake sleeping, like straight up out. So he's like, something was going on. So the middle room, that was the bathroom, had a door here to go into the bathroom. The bathroom, a door there to go into the guest room.
Yep.
Right? So the guest room was always there. The guest room was really dark. Something about that room was always super duper dark.
It was like eerily dark.
Yeah, it was like, and it was so dark there was like this weird, awkward blackness that I had in that room. So I would close the bathroom door. I would close the other door. Bathroom door would open nightly. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop. Like, this is really sucky. So it's just like every single time this would happen.
Really
then I remember Mom telling me, like, if the door keeps opening, just put a door, like a chair underneath it to kind of like jam it. And a lot of the times that would stop it from opening because I thought, well, you know, it's probably the handle, the way that these are old doors. I'm like, something's probably opening it because the wind and, you know, the pressure in the house, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, we'll come up with a billion things to say it's not anything bad. I didn't want to believe in my head that it was a ghost. Because, I mean, you can't tell if it was or not. So the door would open, and sometimes I would just let it open, and I would watch it. And I'm just like, well, maybe I'm meant to see something.
You're like,
so I would just stay in my bed, sit up, and watch the door. And the door would open. And it would just open, it would creak, and it would just, like, open, stay open. And then the other door was already open. I didn't make it open. I didn't open it. I mean, it was like, damn thing's open. And he would stare into this room, and it was just darkness.
It's like,
and it was weird because it was just
well,
nothing, and it was
this
silence. And the thing is that one had a big window there, and that window was probably open most of the time too. Yeah. So I mean, critters could come in and whatnot. Nothing, and it was just really, really creepy. And I'm like, I don't like the way this looks. So anytime I had to go to the bathroom at night, it was just like, I'd rather get a UTI. I'd rather pee myself. I'm like, I don't want to go to the bathroom. I'm like, this is really terrible. And it was just this eerie feeling almost every night at that place.
Yeah.
And it was weird. And the thing is like, yeah, I grew up watching scary movies. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have watched really early on. So in my mind, trying to be a kid with a little bit of logic and trying not to scare myself to death, thinking, there's got to be an explanation for everything. I probably watched something I shouldn't have watched. But physical stuff would happen that you would go, I wonder what it is exactly. And then when Felipe had similar experiences, Felipe kept on feeling something pressing the pillows, remember?
Yep.
And it was like it would press the pillows and it would press on the bed. And he would go, stop. Like, to stop pressing on me like that.
No, because the thing is, we were all messing around with each other.
Yeah.
And we always like to do that where it's like we would hide under the covers in the bed and then we would just press the pillows on each other. I don't know why.
Yeah,
we just did it.
We just like
I'm going to choke you with the pillow. Snuff you.
But it was like he would feel it like not with the pillow on his face, but he'd feel like like the pressing.
No. That's what it is. Like,
that.
because the thing is, what happened was he started hearing weird noises as he was sleeping, and then he put the pillow on top of his head. I mean, he put it on his face to cover it, and then he started feeling like pressing, just a pressing on the pillow. And he thought that it was us once again, because we were playing that joke as well, where we were pressing each other with the pillows. Bad. And then he was just like, stop. And then like he like got the pillow out, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And so he thought that we were just messing with him, that we were hiding somewhere. But then he went to the room, and we were sleeping.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because that's what Felipe is like. I would check when you were doing stuff to make sure that you weren't messing with me. Like, I would check around, like, what was going on. And that was the part that was always like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
And we like share kind of these stories, and you're like, oh, that's like really messed up. Yeah. And that was the thing with a lot of the places in Colombia, you would feel that. And it was the same thing in Rio Paila.
Yeah.
Rio Paila, another really old, like, kind of plantation style house from way back in the day from the family. Oh, it was like, that one was scary. That one had like great grandfathers like painting on the wall, like, that one was... like really, really scary. Huge house, like with a lot of history. A lot of like just sadness in that house too that you could feel, and it had that big grandfather clock that would go off.
Yeah,
and the stairs would creak, and you would always feel like somebody was walking around the stairs and walking around at night. And I'm like, oof, like, so like no.
So yeah, stream. It's been a little over an hour with our awesome, scary, abandoned, spooky places. Colombia. So third world and first world edition.
It's like, whoops.
So I want to give first a huge and major shout out to Julia for the donation. Thank you so much. And I know I'm going to definitely be paying for the habanero later. So I appreciate that. And I also want to give a lot of shout out to everybody that has actually engaged when it comes to the conversations. Hello, Sander from Holland. So thank you also for being very engaging. Julia, Matt, Lolo, Daigo, Varick, all you beautiful, beautiful people. Like, seriously, we really appreciate you guys always coming to the streams. My sister and I, we really, really love doing these streams so much.
Did you go through? No.
Did you get through all those peppers? I'm like, nah, Julia, we still have 2 left. I'm like, but it's okay. We'll save it for another time. I'm like, ugh.
The thing we can do is, I mean, we can continue creepy stories. Like, we could do one more stream of creepy.
Yeah, we can do a part 3 if you guys really want to. Because if not, then we could definitely switch it up to something else. Yeah. It's ultimately up to what the people want.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we do have a lot more. I mean, I know I definitely do, because I like searching for scary stuff and stuff that's going to give me nightmares. And like I told Andres, like, I'm always looking for like the next thrill of like what's going to scare me, like where I can go, what lockdown I can do, and all that stuff. I'm not looking to go get hurt, of course. I'm just looking for like the thrill of like getting scared, because it's a really fun kind of like rush that you get. But creepy stories while doing you know what? I mean, we could.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, as he tries to poke my eye out. Like, I mean, we could. Hilarious. We could do creepy stories with makeup and see how well Andres can try to jab my eyes out. So
you guys could do another really nasty food stream. Ooh.
Oh no, yeah. Well, it's funny because you didn't do it with me.
No.
I did it with Joseph, a friend of mine. We did that a while back where we ate bolut, which was the fetus, the duck fetus.
Oh,
and
God.
the chick, that was so gross. And then we ate durian, which I rather eat durian again than having to eat baby, like, fetus-y looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Ducks. It was actually kind of gross. That one it made me feel terrible because I love ducks and I love chicks, and eating that with bones and how crunchy it was and feathery. Nah, I don't want to do that one. I'll do other ones, but.
Yeah, Matt is.
Yeah, the duck egg was horrible.
The duck egg was horrible. Lola says, I've enjoyed these stories. I'll live through your scary experiences for me. Nope. Nope. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for coming. This is at Uwu. It's Jesse at Twitter, at Latin Vixen. Hope you follow us.
Yeah.
And hope to see you guys next Thursday at 7 p.m.
But before you say goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
I like to do giveaways for every stream. So today I'm going to be giving away like a little cinch bag that says mixed candy on the back. It's one of our little blue ones.
Ooh.
We're giving those away. So if you want one, you can be the first to @me @LatinVixen, send me a DM, and if you're the first one,
do it now.
Do it now, exactly. If you're the first one, you'll get it. So we like to give one giveaway at during every stream.
Exactly.
So.
Don't be like Sonic.
You're too slow.
Exactly. So @LatinVixen, DM me, and whoever is first will get the bag. I'll send it out for you guys.
Seriously, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, thank you. And it was awesome again. Every Thursday, we're doing it at 7 p.m. If anything changes, we'll give you guys a heads up. And we're going to be going to FWA.
Yay!
So be sure to find both of us. We'll be running around. And we should be streaming while we're over there as well.
Exactly.
We'll be doing stuff probably through Periscope because that'll probably be the easiest way of doing it.
Yep.
If not through YouTube, if we have enough of a connection. So thank you again. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.